Right, hello everybody. Welcome back to another episode of .Q Pod. I'm Josh. Joined with me as always is my co-host Bradley Fuller. Hello, Brad.
Hello, buzzing. We're back.
And this week we are doing the final of the three specials, the Giggle. Leave us a like, leave us a follow, leave us a comment. Brad, I think rather than breaking it down, blah blah blah, let's just go with overall thoughts of the episode, what we thought, what we liked, what we disliked, and then we'll sort of break it down a little bit more in depth as the episode goes on. What did you think?
Yeah, I am buzzing, to be fair. I thought that was a classic, great episode of Doctor Who. This is what I've been waiting for. This is what I've expected every episode to be. And I feel a bit bad because I gave a lot of hate to Wild Blue Yonder last week. And I've had a rewatch since, and I enjoyed it more on a second rewatch. Still not what I expected it to be, but this is the episode I expected the anniversary specials to be. And I'm buzzing. And now that I've seen all three as well, I can say that I'm pretty happy with them. Like, I think, episode 2 now, we'll talk about it a bit more, but something happened in episode 2 that relates to episode 3.
Yeah.
Obviously, you needed episode 1 to reintroduce the Doctor and Donna. But yeah, this was brilliant. This is what I wanted for the anniversary specials.
Okay, in that vein, firstly, I just want to say I love this episode. I thought it was genuinely really very good. However, there are a few things I didn't like. And in that vein, these are supposed to be 3 specials, and they haven't really felt like 3 specials. However, I do agree. I think this has tied it all in. I think the reason it hasn't felt like 3 specials is because even though it's David Tennant's face, it's a brand new Doctor. And I'm going to bring this up again a little bit later, but a lot of the stuff that's happened hasn't felt earned, because it would be like, if it wasn't David Tennant's face, we've got a new actor in the role. Do you know what I mean? And think back to the 50th. We had Matt Smith, who'd been the Doctor for 4 years, and then David Tennant came back, who'd been the Doctor for 4 years, and he was that Doctor. Whereas this one, we had a brand new Doctor that regenerates or bigenerates into a brand new Doctor as well. And I think I think, like you said, we needed those first 2 episodes to get to know this Doctor. And that's why this episode now feels a bit more rewarding, because we're more attached to this Doctor. So I think it works. It works. I don't know if I'd rather have just had the 10th Doctor come back. I don't know if that would have made it feel a bit grander. But
that's something they've done before. You can't repeat constantly.
Well, there's a few repeats in this episode as well, to be fair.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. But I'd still say it's very different. This is what I like as well. What I like about this is it's an anniversary special, and even if you'd say to any finale like of a normal series, it would be one of the big. It would be the Daleks. It would be the Cybermen. It would be the Master. Something like that. And what I like, Rusty Davies has done something different. He's brought back a classic villain, and he's made it work. Like Neill Patrick Harris is brilliant in the role, and it's a great villain. And I just thought it was anniversary worthy, and not something we've seen before, in my opinion.
Interesting. I still think this felt more like a series finale than an anniversary. A fucking good series finale at that. But I don't know if it was, for me, it didn't feel like it was celebrating 60 years of the show. It felt like it was rebooting the show. It really did for me. I'm sorry. Still good. I want to say that. Still very, very good. But it did feel like it was rebranding rather than celebrating what came before it, which is fine. I get that. It's fine. And I liked it. And I'm here for it. But I think it's 2 distinct things.
I kind of agree with you, but at the same time, like the whole bi-generation thing, that's completely brand new. And I think that is what is making it the 60th anniversary special. Something like that doesn't come around in a normal series. So that is what's making the difference.
Okay,
I do know what you mean. It does kind of feel like a series finale.
Let's talk about the bi-generation thing then, because that's obviously going to be what most people are talking about. First of all, I just want to say, Ncuti Gatwa, fucking sick. I am so excited for his season. Even just him prancing around in his underpants, I thought that was the funniest shit I've seen in Doctor Who for such a long time. He is going to, from this episode, I think he's going to be quality. His confidence, his charisma. Oh, what a sick Doctor, right?
Yeah, 100%. He already fits the role. And I remember seeing an interview with Russell saying that when he walked in, like, and he done it, he just thought he was brilliant. And I can see the exact same for the first 5-10 minutes. He's brilliant. He's funny. Agreed. He's got the Doctor's sort of like swagger. He's got the Scottish accent as well.
Yeah, very faint though, very faint.
Yeah, very faint, but he is Scottish, so he does it well. But yeah, no, I thought that was brilliant. I thought it was
I
good.
love the fact that we've been looking at photos of Ncuti Gatwa in what we presumed was Tennant's costume for the past, year maybe, I suppose? And the
Yeah,
entire time he's been stood there in his tighty whities and we just haven't known. I think that's so funny, man. I love it.
Oh, tell me about it.
I did. So I watched this one with Laura, my girlfriend. She leant over to me because I've never seen Sex Ed. She has, and he plays a gay character. She turned over to me and she went, "Is bi generation going to piss people off because of bisexual? And is the fact that we've now got a gay black doctor running around in his white pants, is that going to piss people off?" I thought, I don't know,
No,
because the community does hate quite a lot, but it's just fun. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean the bi generation relating to bisexual. I don't think that's the reason it's bi generation. Bi relates to it's two, isn't it? Basically, sort of thing. So that's the reason they've split into two. That's why that's called that. If anyone's annoyed by that, that's just embarrassing, to be honest. And the fact that he's a gay black doctor, why does it matter? At the end of the day,
Exactly.
they're being progressive. A lot's changed. You've had trans characters. I don't see any issues with it, and I think he's a great actor. He's really good in sex education as well.
Yeah, I am tempted to go give it a watch, to be fair. Yeah, I think I did episode 1 and then I was a bit like, I'm on the fence with it. And now it's too far gone. But anyway, we digress. Really like Ncuti Gatwa as a doctor. I don't think I was on board with the bi-generation thing. I don't think it quite worked for me. I liked how it was done. It was a little bit cheesy, the way he was pulled apart, but I thought it's all fun. It's all good fun. We mentioned it earlier. It doesn't feel very earned for me. Like, basically what Russell's done is the meta crisis doctor again, right?
Yeah, I know what you mean. It did feel very similar, but
the thing is with the meta crisis doctor, David Tennant loses his hand in his very first episode. And then it shows up a couple of times throughout series 3. And then again, he keeps it in his TARDIS throughout season 4 and Torchwood. And then that's what creates the meta crisis doctor at the end of series 4, literally just before his 10 year is up completely. That for me feels like that's so rewarding because it's been there from the very start. This bi-generation thing, they just explain it that it's because David Tennant is tired, and I get it. It makes sense. But for me, that's not very rewarding, because the doctor's supposed to feel fresh every time he regenerates. And I do love the idea that this doctor has done the Time War and done all of Classic Who and, everything with Rose and everything with Martha and Donna, blah, 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 blah. But he should just regenerate, right? It didn't need to be this bi-generation thing.
Yeah, I know what you mean. It's sort of just come out of nowhere. It's been quick, but it had to be something big to be the 60th anniversary. And Russell's obviously just decided to change something. And at the end of the day, and I've not actually watched it yet, but that they've now released the commentary on BBC iPlayer where you watch it with people and they talk about it. So this one they've done it with Russell, and apparently in that he says that basically every doctor does kind of split off and have their own TARDIS apparently, and they're all flying around in what he calls the Doctorverse. So I don't really know how I feel about that, if that's true, because you don't actually see that. So I don't know how that's possible. But I sort of touched on it as well. The whole bi-generation thing, I didn't like the pulling apart thing, same as you. I thought that was a bit weird.
I thought,
they could have thought of a better way to do it.
Yeah, I agree.
It was a bit Disney.
It was very Disney. Listen, we both love David Tennant, right? David Tennant for us is he's my second favorite doctor. He's your favorite doctor. They should have killed him off.
He's your favorite as well.
He's not my favorite pick. Ford is my favorite. But the whole bit with him staying behind and watching Donna and everything, that to me felt like he's trying to keep everybody happy. And I don't know.
That's exactly what it was.
Again, I don't think it worked. He should have just regenerated. I don't.
Yeah, I did like the fact that he's got a happy ending now. He's got a family. He's slowing down. He's going to enjoy it. But at the end of the day, he's still the doctor, and he literally says, "I can't give up my TARDIS." And he's like, "I can't give up running around and saving the world. You're going to have to help me with that." And I don't understand how he's actually going to do it. Are we ever going to see David Tennant again? Because let's be honest, what's the point of doing this bi-generation if you're not going to do a spin-off? He's there on Earth with the TARDIS and Donna.
I think that's exactly it. I think they're keeping the door open for him to come back. And it's just the Meta-Crisis Doctor again, though. He's stuck on Earth. The Meta-Crisis Doctor grew his own TARDIS. This Doctor's just got his own TARDIS. I liked the fact that the original Doctor, i.e. David's Doctor, kept the original TARDIS rather than the copy of the TARDIS. I quite like that. But there's all this talk about him slowing down and everything. Yet in the very next scene we cut to, he's saying, oh, but I took you to Mars and I took you to New York and all this. And it just feels a bit like, so he hasn't stopped. He hasn't, like, I don't know, what's the point of this? And I get it. They're rebooting the show. But regeneration on its own does that. Do you know what I mean? There doesn't need to be this bi-generation thing that comes into it.
And but the issue that, and I keep saying it, the issue is, if he'd have just regenerated, then that is just a normal series finale. That is just a normal regeneration. Something had to be different to be the 60th, and I think Russell's probably just thought of that. He said he's had an idea of it for ages, and I do like it. It's a good idea, but there would be nothing else to this if he didn't do that for the 60th, because it wouldn't be a 60th special. Yeah,
I suppose I would just I get it, but I would also argue Doctor Who works so well because it's got a formula that works. Like, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Do you know what I mean? Or I don't know. Anyway, how do you feel about our Doctor effectively ending now? Because I think this new Ncuti says, I don't love Rose. I don't know anything about Donna. I don't know the time, or it is a reboot. How do you feel about that? That our Doctor has stopped.
What do you mean? He says he does love Rose.
No, I thought I took it as he doesn't. I took it as this Doctor's had a hard reset. This isn't the same Doctor that loves Rose. This is interesting.
No, it's very much him saying that he's the next Doctor, because he says I love Rose. No, because he says Sarah Jane's gone. Can you believe that for a second? And then he says I loved her, and then David Tennant says I loved her, and then he's like, and I loved Rose, and I loved so and so, and then he talks.
But I took that as it's past tense. This is now fresh reboot. This is not our Doctor anymore. This is new, fresh Doctor, and that's why they've separated it on iPlayer. That's why they're calling it Series 1 again. The way I took it is our Doctor has now stopped. Has gone. Maybe I have only watched this.
Like a bit of a soft reboot.
Yeah, I have only watched this an hour. Still not going
to. Yeah, but the Doctor Who's never going to do like a complete reboot where he doesn't remember anything. Because take the Toymaker, for example, that was in Classic Who. David Tennant, no new Doctor ever met him, but he still remembers him. He'll still have those memories, so it's still going to continue. I don't think they'll ever do that.
So.
Yeah, no, definitely not. So the same as Mel's going to come back. So Mel's in the next series. Yeah.
Okay. Fair enough. Yeah. All right. I mean, that was the main thing to me that stood out in this episode. That I probably could have. It all felt a bit weird, but love Ncuti. Very excited to see him moving forward. The only other thing I think that really didn't work in this episode for me is that they defeat the Toymaker by having a game of catch.
Yeah, I know what you mean. That. But at the end, that's what the Toymaker is. It's a game. You could have probably thought of a better game.
I know. I just thought it was something weird. Exciting.
Yeah. It still felt dramatic, even though it's pointless. It's a game of catch. It still felt a bit dramatic. It was like, oh, he's going to drop it. And then there was a time when David jumps on the floor and he's nearly going to drop it.
It's supposed to be on my team.
Oh yeah. Then you got my team bit. Yeah, it still felt quite dramatic, but it had to be a game that the Toymaker had created. Yeah.
They made it as exciting as they could have made it. Yeah, fair play. But I was sat here thinking I was quite into it as well. I was like, okay, this is quite dramatic. And then again, my girlfriend's not a fan of Doctor Who. I took a look at her and I was like, oh, I'm making her watch a kids show and they're just playing catch. I had a real sort of but I was like, oh, this is a bit embarrassing actually. What's going on? But I think that's such to this episode's detriment because firstly, this episode's fucking scary, man. This episode is scarier than Wild Blue Yonder.
The second one.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. This is what the second one should have been. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
That shit with the puppets crawling over Donna.
Yeah, the puppets are weird.
The first sort of really scary bit is right at the very beginning when that puppet's face catches. This is a fucking kid show. This is like
Oh, the
something out of
mouth drop.
Saw. Yeah, fucking hell, man. That was dead
Yeah, just that
scary.
puppet's face was so creepy. It literally does look like Jigsaw.
It really does, doesn't it?
Yeah, and even Neill Patrick Harris, he was creepy. His accent was brilliant, and it was just creepy.
I love Neill Patrick Harris. Have you ever seen? You've never seen How I Met Your Mother, right?
I watched a couple of episodes, yeah, so I know what he's like.
He is fucking brilliant. In this, he was genuinely creepy, genuinely scary. I do think sometimes he went a bit too cartoony, if I'm being really, really critical. But he's playing a kid's villain. It kind of works. Do you know what I just thought when you compare it to the puppets and then you have giant Neill Patrick Harris doing his accent over the top of that, I thought, okay, that it's just reminding me that actually it is a kid's show. Because the puppet shit was scary as fuck, man.
I'll be honest though, I wouldn't say that. I wouldn't say any bit of this episode would look like a kid's show.
No,
even the catch, it was still like a.
Yeah, there are.
I wouldn't say a game of catch makes it a kid's show though. That's the thing.
I agree.
You know what I mean?
I agree, and I'm not saying this as a bad thing. I'm not saying this is childish. I'm just saying because there were, for me anyway, because there were like genuinely quite tense, horrifying bits. I then think there were some other bits that just juxtaposed it and made it look a little bit, just reminded me that it wasn't childish, but it reminded me it was a kid show, or not even a kid show, a family show. Do you know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
I don't know. Instead of catch, they could have been throwing knives at each other. Like that's the sort of horror level that it was at. But then they brought it back, and they were like,
quite good.
But then they brought it back, and they're like, no, guys, remember this is a family show. It is for kids. We can't have them brutally murdering each other. They're going to have a game of catch. I'm like, okay, fine, fair enough. But
or it could have been like a bomb where whoever's holding it when it counts as 0, that's when that happens.
Yeah, exactly. But it's a family show. Kids are watching, and also I do get it because now kids are going to be in their back garden playing catch, pretending they're Doctor Who, and I love that. I'd have done that as a kid. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, 100%.
So I totally get it. Not saying that's a detriment to it at all. I just thought it was mental how it went from being so fucking scary to actually quite relaxed. This feels like very familiar Doctor Who. This is, you said it, this is much scarier than Wild Blue Yonder. This is exactly what it should have been. Because it was, as soon as they go back in time and they're going through the Toymaker's shop and it's like endless corridors. Oh, they get split up again, by the way, which Russell T Davies seems to like doing quite a lot. I'm glad it wasn't just a clear wall that came down, though.
There was no glass wall today.
There was no glass wall. I was very upset by that.
I really thought that was going to be a theme, to be fair.
So, yeah, I genuinely did as well. Oh, mate, I can't tell you. I'm so fucking happy. This feels like a million miles away from Wild Blue Yonder for me. This feels like a totally different fucking show, to be honest with you.
Yeah, it does feel... It feels like it's what it's meant to feel like. It feels brilliant.
Yeah, no, it felt like proper Doctor Who. I've made a few notes going through, so we can sort of run by this. That start was, and I was really worried.
Can I just quickly touch on something actually? Just on the last point on the bioregeneration.
Yeah.
What did you think of what would have been David Tennant's final words again? So it was
Alonzi.
Yeah, it was. No, he said something before that, didn't he? What did he say?
Didn't he say like, "I'm not ready"?
Here we go again.
Here we go again.
No, he said, "Here we go again," and then he goes, "Alonzi." Love that. I love that.
Yeah, it was good. It was genuinely really good. I think that should have been his regeneration scene, though. I do. I'm sorry. I'll stick with it. He should have regenerated.
It felt like a bit of a cop out when he didn't go.
Yeah, I just feel like they're trying to keep everybody happy. I'm also right, and this probably won't happen. This is just me being like total conjecture. I wonder if Ncuti's first season doesn't do very well, will they kill him off and then we'll just go back to David Tennant running around in the TARDIS? Is this their sort of backup? Not. But it could just be their backup. Do you know what I mean?
No, I don't. This is what I mean. I really don't understand why they've done it. Like, I get it's a big thing for the 60th anniversary, but the purpose of still having David Tennant on Earth for the TARDIS, maybe we will just never see him again. Maybe like Russell says, all the Doctors are running around. Does it just open for a really big story, like a multiverse of Doctors all coming together at some point?
But that can happen anyway. Do you know what I mean? Like we don't. Yeah. You mentioned this a couple of weeks back, I think. We don't see every single second of every Doctor's life, right? So there is the fourth Doctor. Like, let's just say, for example, the fourth Doctor, Tom Baker, probably had an adventure in 2023 on Earth, right? We just never saw it. So he's probably knocking about somewhere. But what this now means is if that Doctor is stuck on Earth in 2023, or not stuck on Earth, but you know what I mean? What happens the next time London gets invaded? Is the Doctor just going to be... It's sort of the issue that Marvel has with the Avengers, right? It's like, in every film, why is it not always an Avengers film? Now we've got David Tennant on Earth permanently. You know, the Christmas special looks like it's set on Earth in the present day. Pirate ship over London or whatever it's going to be. What's David Tennant doing? Is he just putting his foot up having a break? Like, that's not his character. He would be there saving them. Do you know? Whether he's supposed to be retired now or not, he would still fucking be there fighting. Do you know? I don't know, man. It feels so odd.
That's what
I don't get it.
Me. I don't know what. Yeah. It would have made more sense if he didn't have a TARDIS.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. He didn't have a TARDIS and he didn't have a sonic screwdriver. He even says that at one point in the episode. I made a note of it. He literally, I'll try to find it quickly. He says, yeah, take away the toys and what am I? And I was like, oh. Yeah. And we mentioned that before in the Satan Pit. We were like, actually, when the Doctor loses his screwdriver and his TARDIS, he is just a man that's incredibly intelligent. That would have been perfect foreshadowing for him now being stuck on Earth, and he has just got his intelligence. Like, what's he supposed to do with that? So very interesting. Yeah. But do you remember in the lead up to all of this? I'm sure we did it on Who News one day. There were rumors about David Tennant getting the spin-off, right?
The only rumor I heard about there being a rumor relating to the Meta Crisis Doctor and Rose and their adventures.
Oh yes, sorry, yeah, that was what I heard. But surely, like, if they're getting David Tennant, this is what they're going to do now, right?
I'm expecting some kind of unit / Torchwood to come back, and him to be involved in that sort of way somehow. But I still don't know how it happens because at the end of the day, he's the Doctor with a TARDIS still.
Exactly.
This is the thing. You can't do a spin-off with David Tennant and like being the Doctor still, because it's just a normal Doctor Who series just with David Tennant. I don't think you can do that.
Exactly.
Because it's then going to take away from Ncuti.
Yeah, exactly. That's it. So, who are you going to tune into to watch if you can only watch one? You're going to watch David Tennant coming back. You just are.
Exactly.
So, you
watch everything, but yeah.
We will watch everything because we're fucking geeks, but we don't represent most... Excuse me. We don't represent most of the population.
People have come back to this. Yeah, a lot of people have come back to Doctor Who just because David Tennant's back, to be fair.
Yeah, exactly. And if they see, okay, every Saturday night there's Ncuti Gatwa, but then every Friday night there's David Tennant, right, I'm out on Saturday night, I'll stick David Tennant on if I'm in. Do you know what I mean? Yeah,
very true. Very true.
Okay, so let's sort of
just
won't
do that.
I don't know, man. I don't know. I really don't know. Yeah. Music was good in this episode. There was old unit themes being played. Peter Capaldi's theme got played.
That's literally my first comment as well.
Matt Smith's theme got played, and I thought for sure we're getting an old Doctor. And then
why do they keep playing the old Doctor's themes if they're not showing up?
I think it's just because Murray Gold is back, right? He just wants to use his old music.
He's just using it.
He's just run out of ideas. But that bit where Neill Patrick Harris is showing Donna what happened to all of the companions since her. I was like, we are fucking getting one of the old Doctors who's going to come through in a minute. He's going to be used as a puppet. And it never happened, which was very sad.
Yeah, something I actually noted from that, and it makes me laugh, to be fair, because it shows how good the writing used to be. Like the fact that he's gone through that, he's gone, look, you had Amy Pond, she got touched by a weeping angel and she died. And then the Doctor's like, oh yeah, but she died of old age. He's making excuses for everything because he knows they all died. Same with Clara. Clara died, he lost her. Bill died, he lost her. And they're all really emotional endings as well, like proper heartbreak for his companions. But then there's no mention of any Jodie companions because none of them died. They all just decided, you know what?
Oh, yeah, that's a good point.
I'm going to go back to Earth now.
Because, I didn't even pick up on that.
I
didn't even pick up on that.
That's what I hate. That's what I hate about Chris Chibble's writing. There was no emotion in it.
Yeah.
They all just decided to leave. And how can you do that? How can you time travel and just decide to stop?
Well, Martha does it.
I'd rather have had an emotional ending. Yeah, to be fair, Martha does do it, but Martha is still involved in everything. Like, she goes to UNIT and she works for UNIT,
and actually,
Martha's
with Martha,
amazing. Like, she's one of the best companions.
And Martha stops No. Well, this is what I was going to say. Martha stops because her entire family gets tortured for a year by the Master, and she realizes how dangerous it is to travel with the Doctor, whereas nobody else. They all just jump off. Yeah, it's very, very strange. No, that's a good point. But I didn't even notice that they hadn't done any of Jodie's companions. That's quite funny, to be fair.
Yeah, but they couldn't get that because nothing happened to them.
Nothing happened. Yeah, exactly.
The Toymaker's pointing out who's died, and like none of Jodie's died, so he did the flux and like cut off the planets.
Speaking of Martha, though, little reference to the Archangel Network. Did you pick up on that?
Yeah, I did pick up on the Archangel Network. I was trying to think back to what the Archangel was, though. I couldn't really remember. I think I was getting it mixed up with the Subwave Network.
So Archangel was, the Master's drumming. He used Archangel to hypnotize everybody with that drumming. But speaking of the Master, mate, I can't even believe I forgot to mention this up top. Presumably he's coming back because the tooth gets picked up.
How much of a throwback was that to when the ring gets picked up?
What? No, exactly, I'm convinced it's the same hand. Yeah, it's the same hand. Yeah,
it's the Master's wife
I was so gassed. It was so gassed. It's like, shit is happening again. Right? The laugh, was that the Toymaker's laugh, or was that John Sims' laugh?
I thought it was John Sim, to be fair, but I couldn't tell, and I don't think they would bring John Sim back. It's difficult. I don't want them to recast. This is the only thing that worries me as well, to be fair. I don't want them to. I don't know, actually. Do I? I don't know whether I want them to bring someone back who's played the Master, or if I want a new person. Because, I think all the people, if it's John Sim, if it's Missy, if it's Sacha Darwin, they were all brilliant Masters. So I'm sure even if they cast someone new, they'd be good as well. But I still think you need to go back to an old one. And what does worry me a bit is I've seen one of the villains in the next series, and I think they're going to be the Master. And I don't think I'm going to like it.
Who?
Have you seen like the musical person? I think it was someone on RuPaul's Drag Race or something.
Oh yes, the drag person. Yeah. Okay, let's cross that bridge when we get to it then. And then, so I liked Kate's little when she takes her. Oh, okay, let's talk about this then. This was something I didn't quite like about it as well. Who is this weird alien thing in UNIT? And is it a little bit convenient that he's just happened within 2 days to create this device that means you're not affected by it?
Yeah, I've got to admit, that little alien was a bit weird. I didn't really understand the point of him, to be honest.
I thought for sure he was going to be a bad guy. I thought it was going to be a big twist reveal.
Yeah, I did as well. It was weird. I don't really know what he did, what he gave to the team,
It was very strange, wasn't it? It was very, very strange. I loved Kate's little breakdown thing when she gets it taken off. And I was absolutely howling when she turned to Ruth Mady and went, "And I've seen you walk. I know you could walk." I was absolutely wetting myself because literally in the scene before, she wheels up to the computer and then she gets out of her chair. I know, man. Yeah. And I know not all people in wheelchairs are limited to the wheelchairs. I did just think it was very funny. And it was a brilliant way of addressing people like you and me who were sat there, because we're in the wrong. We are absolutely in the wrong by thinking everybody in a wheelchair has no movement of their legs. Of course they do. So it was a really good way of addressing our prejudices. I thought it was really properly funny. It was absolutely brilliant.
Yeah. And Russell would have known that everyone was saying that as well. So
exactly.
He's wrote that really well.
Yeah, what a good way of just addressing the elephant in the room. And more fool us, we're the idiots. Like absolutely 100% behind that. We get the classic news reporter back. We haven't seen her for a while.
Oh yeah. Is that the same one?
The same woman that's in all the early Russell T Davies ones, yeah.
I remember her in Rusty Days, but I got to admit, I didn't pick up whether it was the same person.
Yeah,
surely she's quite a bit older now.
Well, yeah, she was quite a bit older. I think I only recognised it because I think it had leaked somewhere before. That's what I was going to say. Sorry, speaking of leaks, you messaged me last night before it came on and you went, "Have you seen the leak for the episode?" What was the leak and did it happen?
Yeah, the leak was the bioregeneration.
Ah, it came out somehow, did it?
I'm a bit gutted, to be fair.
Really?
Yeah. I'm gutted that I'd seen it before, yeah.
I'm glad you didn't fucking tell me then.
Annoyingly, the leak was bang on as well because it literally said the Doctor splits into two and Ncuti has about 20 minutes of screen time, and that's exactly what happened.
Was literally bang on the money then. Yeah, interesting.
Yeah, yeah, a
Um,
bit glad about that.
I liked the Doctor's speech about how humans have this innate hatred and the Toymakers just playing on it. And, you know, we're in this cancel culture. What happens when everybody wins? Oh, we just turn hatred. I thought that was really properly good writing. For me, it was evoking emotions of sort of like Israel and Gaza and all that sort of stuff. And it is so accurate. Well, that was just a really good, just a really, really good bit.
Yeah, it was very on the nose, wasn't it? That's what's happening in the world right now. It's so easy to annoy people, and everyone does think they're right. Yeah.
Yeah, no, exactly. But again, the whole bit in unit, I don't know if it's this over reliance on CGI again, but it didn't feel real for me. Like, obviously, the bit where they're on the platform, that's all done in a green screen room, but it felt better than last week, but it still had that Disney sort of, this isn't real. Do you know what I mean? Like, we're doing a run through of the old series and it all feels like it's done proper, and everywhere you are, you feel like you're there. I just had, for most of this episode, I was a bit like, it feels like I'm watching a TV show. It feels like we're in this fairy tale land, except for when they go back in time to 1925. And I was like, shit, this feels quality. That somehow Soho feels more real than 2023 London. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I know what you mean. Something that I think this is kind of what you're trying to say as well. This is going to sound really stupid, I think, and really picky. But for me, it felt like there just wasn't enough. The set just wasn't enough. Like the
I
set
agree.
was basically that one big room with the screens, the
Yep.
outdoor bit, and then you had
The
one little
Toymakers bit.
separate
Yeah.
room which was called like no, it was like sector 17 or something where they parked the TARDIS.
Oh,
You
yeah.
never
Yeah.
saw
Yeah.
him
Yeah.
just running around the unit building, like,
Exactly.
chuck in some staircases, chuck in some him go into another room. Like it just felt like
Yeah.
it was all very set
Contained.
in
Yeah.
one place. Yeah.
No, I agree with that. It didn't feel very grand at all. That's actually something that Jodie Whittaker's last episode did. They pretty much did the
I'd
entire
agree, yeah.
unit building. Yeah. And it did. I wonder, though, if this was still filmed in like the aftermath of COVID, maybe. Maybe but that would explain why it was
Yeah.
just Donna and the Doctor in the last episode. And I know you're going to be pissed off because I'm
Yeah.
comparing it to Star Wars again, but it is
Oh, for
now
God's
owned,
sake.
or no, but there is now a Disney influence. The way they film Star Wars
Yeah.
and the Star Wars TV shows, have you heard of this? It's called like The Volume.
No.
So it's
What's that?
literally, it's like you're in a big warehouse and it's like this, you're filming inside this dome, like out of the Simpsons movie or something like that. But the
Right.
dome is just made out of LED screens, and on the screens is the background of wherever you are. So it looks like you're in this mad, expansive, like Star Wars alien world. And then it's just touched up with CGI in the edit and stuff. So it's not a green screen, but it
Okay.
works amazing for some bits. But I felt very much like today the volume was being used because it felt like they were almost on a stage rather than on a set. Do you know what I mean? It felt like their movements were quite limited. It felt like, yeah, I don't know. I wonder if they've started using that because it did. It felt very contained and it felt very CGI.
I don't know about the room, but I know the whatever you'd call it, like the balcony bit at the
Yeah.
outdoor bit. That was an actual set that was made in Wales. But it is literally just that. Like there's just that there, so they're just on like a little platform thing with the unit balcony bit,
Yeah.
like the helipad bit. But don't know about the room. I'm pretty sure they still use green screens from what I've watched on Doctor Who Unleashed.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
But yeah,
Yeah.
similar sort of thing.
Just loses a little bit of realism for me, I think. And then, yeah, we then jumped to the bit back in 1925. It was all that for me was just that entire section back in 1925 was fucking brilliant. I thought we've already touched on it. It was super creepy. It was super
Yeah.
scary. It was eerie. Again, it was a little bit upsetting that the Doctor and Donna got split up again, but fine, it happened. It is what it is. But Neill Patrick Harris was great. David Tennant was great. Donna was great. Even the bit where they run out and then the building like collapses in on itself. I was like, fuck, that's sick. Like, that's really good. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, what I liked about that as well is the fact that that has been stored makes me think that the Toymaker probably will come back at some point as well. And I quite like that. I'd love to see him come back in some sort of way.
Yeah,
But
for
yeah,
sure.
I did
For
love
sure.
that whole scene. And one of the best bits, to be fair, is when Donna's fighting the puppets, and the puppets are doing like a rhymey bit,
Yeah, yeah. And
and
then she's like, Donna's gonna
and
get you or something.
oh yeah, my name's Donna, and now you're a goner or something, and then she just starts smashing it against the wall.
I loved
That was
it.
that was
Brilliant.
classic Donna. I love that.
Yeah,
And then
absolutely
like
brilliant.
they're all the little babies like shuffle off because they're scared, and she just goes to walk away and just kicks the head against the wall.
Absolutely brutal. But it's like as
Oh, I
well,
love
that's
it.
the sort of shit. Like when you get, I don't even know what they're called anymore. What's the horror movie with the Annabelle? Like when you get Annabelle, like
Yeah, yeah,
in real life, you would just go to fucking town on that doll. Do you know what? Like that's a more realistic reaction than you see in any of these stupid fucking horror films nowadays. Do you know what I mean?
yeah. That's true. You would just grab it and smash it, wouldn't you?
Yeah, fucking hell, I'd be burning it alive, like I'd be destroying it. Um,
Yeah. Just
so
quickly,
yeah,
just quick, unless you're going to say something about that bit in 1925.
I think I was, but go on.
I think you've missed a bit about the salt.
Well, yeah, I did. That was next up. He says Salt is
Oh,
what
right.
let him in because he starts playing the game.
Yeah, yeah. What he did at the end, and you did call it last week. To be fair, fair
I
play.
did.
You
It
did
was
say
too
that was going to
obvious
happen.
not to be included. But yeah, this is why you guys listen to Doc Coupon because we come with all the insights and the Easter eggs. You thought it was going to be nothing. I called it. I called it from the start. And if we are talking about Easter eggs, we're going to channel our inner Jack here. I think we've been given an Easter egg for Shooty season, maybe.
Yeah, go for it. What are you thinking? Because I've got
Well,
a couple of ideas. I think, to be fair.
oh, interesting. Obviously, there's the master thing that we spoke about at the beginning. I thought that was quite
Yeah,
interesting. Then the Toymaker, when he's playing cards with David Tennant, he's like, I've traveled the stars. I played the master. I played the Time Lord. And then there was the one who waits, who just waits in the
yeah.
corner. And I didn't play him and I didn't want to play him. And he was like, oh, that's someone else's story. Like, that's got to be
Yeah.
the
Who else
Easter egg.
could that
That's
be
gotta...
though?
Fuck knows, man. I'm hoping it's someone brand new, to be fair.
Oh, yeah. I think I'm wrong, but what I really want it to be, because it's the one who waits, he says,
Yeah.
and the only person I could think of who waits, I've got to think it's going to be River Song,
Okay.
but like a
Okay.
bad version of her or something.
Yeah, it could be quite interesting. I mean, River Song never
I
waited.
don't
Like, if
know.
you're talking about the one who waited, it's the girl who waits is Amy Pond. The man who
That's Amy
waits
Bond,
is
yeah,
Rory Williams.
yeah.
Um, I mean, I don't know. I hope it's someone new. I hope it's an Easter egg. I hope
But I
it's
feel like
later out of the
River's
season.
always waiting to see the Doctor again, isn't she?
I don't know. Is she?
Yeah, I think so. I think she's always waiting for that moment when they're going to cross paths again.
I don't know. Interesting
More
theory,
so
though.
that she waits
Right.
than the Doctor waits.
Yeah, I guess so. I guess so. We'll keep an eye
And
on
I can't
that.
think who else it could be unless it's going to be someone new. But
No, interesting. Let's just talk like,
mm.
mate, how sick that we get to theorize about the Easter egg again.
Yeah, buzzing to be fair.
We've been doing
Exactly
this
what
for
I've been
like
waiting for.
6 months with Jack, and now it's our fucking turn again, and we're gonna get it right. I swear to God, we're gonna get it right before the end of the series. You said you had some other theories. Was there any else you thought for the Easter egg?
No, I think it was just those two. To be fair,
Yes, so
I
just
wasn't
those
sure if
two.
you were gonna. I wasn't sure if you were gonna pick up on who's the one who waits.
Of course I was. I'm eagle-eyed at the
did.
minute. I'm not going to miss anything. I'm fucking going to go back and watch it in like 0.25 speed, I reckon.
Oh,
So
dear.
yeah, so then obviously collapses into themselves, and they blow up the satellite. Fine, okay, it gives an excuse for the gun to be there for David Tennant to regenerate. But Neill Patrick Harris coming into the modern day, and the little Spice Girls number that we get, I
Oh, mate, that's
fucking
classic.
loved that. I was
I've already posted it
brilliant.
on TikTok. I've got it on it
Oh
straight away.
yes,
I knew it would be a
good
thing.
fucking lad, good fucking lad.
Oh, it was
Just,
quality.
just so much fun. I just absolutely loved it from start to finish. I thought it was brilliant. The only thing I wish is I wish David Tennant had done some dancing.
Yeah, yeah. He should have got more people involved. I mean, how funny was it though? I thought it was hilarious as well. The bit where grabs Kate Lethbridge Stewart, dances with her, throws her, and she just smashes into a wall.
Yeah, yeah, just completely takes her out. It was excellent.
Yeah. proper loud
fucking...
thud as well. Like she's proper smashed into that wall. And then you've got Mel. He dances with Mel and he just spins her down the hallway and she just falls to the floor.
That's it. Absolutely brilliant. Sorry, if we could just backtrack for 2 seconds, just going back to the bit in 1925, bit where David Tennant sees the puppet being played by the guy from the earlier segment, the inventor of TV or his assistant or whatever. And then it cuts to David Tennant's face as the puppet. That for me, I was like, okay, CGI is a bit ropey again, but it's so quick and it's so brief and it's used literally for just those 10 seconds. That was 10 times scarier again than last week's episode, because last week was too dependent 100%. On the CGI. This for me worked a lot better. I just wanted to wrap that up because we got a lot of comments last week on our last episode. So, oh mate, something like 65 comments and everybody hates us.
Oh my God, on YouTube?
On YouTube, yeah.
Oh wow, I need to go and read them. That's
have so a good. Read. There's a few little arguments between other people as well, which I think is quite funny. But yeah, go and check that out, everybody. Spice Girls. It was just so much fun. Neill Patrick Harris just having the time of his life. Spice up your life, and we've obviously got a musical number coming in the Christmas special. I'm excited for it. I think it's going to be good fun.
Yeah, I'm loving the fact that they're bringing a bit of musical elements into it. I think I'm pretty sure the next series is going to have a whole musical episode, which I'm buzzing for.
I'm all here.
You know a bit more about Neill Patrick Harris than I do. Has he got a sort of musical background? Because apparently, when he was given the script and everything, when he went to do that scene, he turned around and went, "I'm not a dancer. I can't dance."
Oh no way!
But everyone else has said that he's a brilliant dancer. Like he is a dancer.
Yeah, for sure. He's a showman, 100%. So he's a magician as well. All of those card tricks that you see him doing, presumably he was doing them himself. Like that's probably not CGI.
He can shuffle and everything. Yeah.
And yeah, he's a showman. Like he does his Oscar intros. He always does a show number with it. How I Met Your Mother has a musical episode in it, which is led by Neill Patrick Harris. Right. Yeah, no, for sure, 100%. I would have presumed it was him pushing for it. So obviously, did you ever watch It's a Sin?
Oh no, it wasn't. Yeah, did I? I can't remember now.
It was Russell T Davies did it. It was about being gay in the 80s and the AIDS crisis and everything. And that's how they started working with each other.
No,
Patrick Harris is obviously gay. And presumably that's how he then got the role in this. And I thought for sure it must have been Neill Patrick Harris pushing for this, but I'm all for it. Everybody knows we love a fucking musical. I'd be interested to see how someone like Jack, who doesn't like a musical, would take this episode. For me, I'm all for it. I think the Doctor should have done more dancing. Is my only thing about that.
Yeah, it gave vibes of the series 3 finale when the Master's doing his musical scene with that.
It did, didn't it?
Yeah. And same with the Rusty team as well from Jodie's series. To be fair. Yeah,
although that worked less for me for some reason.
I still liked it though.
Yeah. No, fair enough. So then obviously they go out onto the balcony. I accidentally knocked the time and saw that there was like half an hour, 20 minutes left. And I was like, they're going to kill him off now, aren't they? They're genuinely going to kill David Tennant off now. And I was getting quite emotional. And I was like, his face looks like his face looks in that little clip of the regeneration bit that we got. And I was like, no, this is coming. And I thought, more for them. They're going to kill the Doctor off and we're going to shoot his Doctor for the second half of the series. Second half of the episode. I'm all for this. And then obviously,
and with the leak scene.
And with the leaked scene. Oh yeah, of course you saw the leak. I had. So then we obviously get the bi-generation scene. We get them playing catch. David Tennant is barefoot again. Me and Jack, we just did Smith and Jones.
He loves it, doesn't he?
He fucking loves it. It's mental. I can't believe.
Barefoot on the moon.
Mate, I cannot believe that this Doc Who pod has 2 consecutive episodes of David Tennant being barefoot in it, and they're fucking 20 years apart. How insane is that?
Mental, isn't it? That is just
absolutely madness. Yeah. So then we have the game of catch again. We've spoken about it.
Yeah.
I don't know. That finale, it didn't work for me. Like again, they have to play by the rules. It probably is cheating that it's 2v1. It has to be, surely.
I think he probably should have just done a game with Ncuti. I think David Tennant should have been made to watch.
I honestly think, and I can't believe I'm going to say this because I am a David Tennant stan, I think David Tennant should have just regenerated I think that should have been the end of his story. There were a couple
I know
of
what you
points.
mean, but
There were a couple of points throughout this episode, and to be fair, throughout these specials that really paid off for me. It was the bit where he's talking about what am I if you take my Sonic and my TARDIS away. I made a note that said he's so defeatist, and since we've seen David Tennant come back, he's been so quick to give up. In Wild Blue Yonder, it was Donna that said, "Let's go kick his ass." I can't remember, but I'm sure there was something in the Star Beast, and David Tennant was like, "I can't save you. I'm gonna, you're going to die. I'm not sure." Blah blah blah. And that to me hasn't felt very David Tennant. I like that that's now been paid off as this isn't the 10th Doctor. This 14th Doctor has come back because he's on his way out. He's ropey, he's old, he needs to stop, he needs to break. That's why he's so defeated. So that all sort of paid off for me, actually. But I still believe he should have just regenerated.
yeah, I know what you mean, but it's just if you'd have had him regenerate now, you would have literally just had 3 specials with David Tennant, and that doesn't sit right with me. I don't think you can do that. So I kind of like that he's done something different to resolve it. It doesn't feel like it's just a cop out of doing 3 specials.
I was just going to say on the Toymaker, again, I felt it was all a bit of a wrapped up, easy ending. But I do like the fact that the Toymaker is this effectively like this god. I can't remember what they call him, like an elemental or something like that. I love the idea that he doesn't give a fuck about good and bad and evil and causing chaos. He just wants to win. And all that matters for him is win or lose. Yeah. So he genuinely honors the fact that he lost something as stupid as a game of catch. And that's it. This villain that was destroying the world is gone. And it does feel a bit like a cop-out, but it is also is very true to the character. And I really like that.
Yeah, no, I loved it, to be fair. The point that I was going to make was, and you're going to love this, to be fair, because it's what you said. The first 2 episodes of the specials, Catherine Tate has been in danger. You felt like there's been cop-outs where you thought Catherine Tate was going to die, right? You had it in both episodes. She was going to die of the Meta Crisis. She was going to die being left back in Wild Blue Yonder.
Yeah.
And then again in this one, David Tennant makes the comment of, "I don't know if I can save your life this time." And it
doesn't
feels
go
like
anywhere.
Donna should be in danger. But yeah, she's never in danger in this episode. There's no points where you think, "Oh, Donna's going to die. Something's happened to Donna."
I know.
Nothing happens. Yeah, he says, "Why does he say I can't save your life this time?"
I know. It feels like that was included just to be put in the trailers. Oh, that's what I was going to ask you. You have been adamant for the past 2 weeks that they've been doctoring their trailers and that somebody was removed from the balcony bit. Had anybody been removed, or was it the same that we saw in the trailers?
I think it was Mel. Mel wasn't there.
Ah, right. Okay. Well, also,
I don't remember seeing anyone holding a box. She holds the box. You can't have her holding the box.
That's true. That's true. Very nice seeing Bonnie Langford. But why?
Yeah.
She didn't do anything.
How did he recognise her as well? Because she's changed a lot. I mean, she probably still looks similar to when she was younger, but
there is a theory. So there's a Sarah Jane. There's a Sarah Jane Adventures episode where Matt Smith meets Sarah Jane, and one of the other old companions come back. I don't actually think I've ever seen the episode. Joe. I've seen a clip on YouTube. And he says
things. It's the one where the Doctor dies, doesn't it?
Something like that, I think. Yeah, something like that. But Matt Smith says to Joe, "I never stop following you guys. Like I go off, I do my own things, but I always make sure you're okay. I always come and check on you. I always
see him." Yeah.
Not even that. He just watches them from afar, which I think is quite cool. And I think it doesn't matter. I think it's lovely seeing her back. The Doctor will probably recognize her smell or something like that. But it didn't add anything to the story. I hope she's going to play a bigger role in the series. I was just about to say, when you were talking about the whole Donna being in danger thing, does it feel a little bit Disney that nobody's dying and it's a kid-friendly show and everything? But then I was actually thinking, like, nobody ever dies in Doctor Who. Rose didn't die. She's on a parallel universe. Martha gave it up. Donna obviously just had a memory. Nobody's died. We haven't really seen anybody die in Doctor Who. So I think I'm okay with it. I would have liked it if either Kate had died or I do think Donna should have died. I think they were foreshadowing that. And I do think the Doctor should have died. I think David Tennant should have died out. But I'm also fine with it. Yeah. We've never had that. Do you know what I mean? I think we're maturing. We're expecting slightly darker stories where, death happens and stuff. But it is a family show. I didn't have an issue with it as a kid watching Doctor Who. I don't think it's an issue now. So I think that's fair enough,
Yeah, and you still did have the aspect of death when the musical scene when there's those two people run up and get turned into the balls, they die.
Oh yeah,
The people
yeah,
who are
yeah,
on the
yeah.
balcony, they fall off and they die. So,
Yeah.
and they say
Oh,
like
can
she
we?
wants the names of those people to remember them. So you still
Yeah,
have that.
let's take a moment. Kate, again, she doesn't do fucking much in this episode. She hasn't really done anything for the past few episodes she's been in, especially in Whittaker's era, but she's so fucking good. I love Kate
Yeah, she
Lethbridge
is.
Stewart. She's so good. I really thought she was going to die and this Ruth Meadley character was going to take over. Because again, what's the point of the Ruth Meadley character? Is it just so we can have a disabled access joke at the end? Because I don't think it was worth it personally.
I do feel like she's going to be more involved at some point because obviously you've now got the
I
TARDIS
hope
that's
so.
got the accessible wheelchair thing. So, but then
That
people did
is,
also say that was for Wilf.
well, it's also on Ncuti's TARDIS, right? It's not on David Tennant's
Yeah.
TARDIS. So
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know is the answer. Yeah. You mentioned Wilf there. Didn't get to see him in the finale. How did they not have time just to shoot him, just sat around eating dinner? Like, come on. Felt really bad.
Yeah,
and also,
no one thought he was going to die, did they?
What sort of an excuse is I'm off shooting moles?
Yeah, that was a bit of a weird
Has
one.
Wilf ever been a hunter? Do you know, like, say he's at the top of the
It
hill
should have
looking
been that
for
he was,
aliens or something?
looking at the stars and that.
Yeah, it was so strange, wasn't
that would
it?
have been so much better.
You could have had
Or
Sylvia
if
do like a little
anything-
packed lunch, and then the doctor be like, "Oh, Wilf's on his hill, is he? I'll take it up there to him now." And then it ends with the doctor walking up the hill to go to Wilf. That would have been brilliant. Shooting moles, what nonsense.
If anything, though, I'd rather they'd have actually just wrote him out of the series. I think they should have done a little funeral for him, and everyone could have mourned him, sort of thing. I think that would be quite nice to do for Bernard Cribbins.
That would have been interesting. The same way the last time we saw Donna was at her wedding. Have it this time round, be it's now at a funeral. That would have been quite
yeah, poetic. And see the doctor go into a funeral. I think that would have actually been quite good.
But again,
and a good way to remember him.
Are we just coming at that as we're now older? We're expecting to see slightly darker, slightly mature stories. Like this is a kid's show. Do you know what I mean? So I again get that point. Would have been good. I actually think the way they handled it was fine. It's for kids. I'm okay with that.
Yeah, I get that.
I don't really know that I've got anything else to add to the episode. I only watched it an hour ago. It's quite early. I'm buzzing, to be fair. I thought that was absolutely quality. Like I said, there's a couple of things that I would have probably done differently. But I had so much fun with that episode. I'm absolutely gassed. Most importantly, I'm gassed for Ncuti's season. We've only briefly spoken about it. I genuinely fucking loved him in this. I thought it was so funny just watching him prance around in his underpants. He's got the energy. He feels like the Doctor has been refreshed properly and truly. I really think so. I'm really looking forward to it, to be fair.
Yeah, 100%. I'm buzzing as well, to be fair. It was really good. I watched it. I watched it live. I didn't even realise BBC Three's back on TV. I jumped over to BBC Three and watched Doctor Who Unleashed live, which I haven't done before, so I was buzzing about that.
Nice.
And then I actually rewatched the episode again last night as well. So yeah, I loved it.
Fucking hell, there you go.
Yeah.
This is the first of the 3 specials I want to put on again, just because I want to watch it again, genuinely.
Yeah,
I think
I mean, I did enjoy rewatching it, but I still say I enjoyed rewatching the first one as well. You know.
Yeah, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it as a 3. I really am, because I think this has justified the previous 2 episodes. As we said, the previous 2 episodes had to introduce a new Doctor, even though it was David Tennant's face. It was a new Doctor, and I think they all did a pretty good job. I still think Wild Blue Yonder, I think it should have been more closely related to the Toymaker. I think sending them off to space and it having nothing to do with the story, I thought was quite interesting.
I think these 3 specials would have been perfect if the antagonist in Wild Blue Yonder had been old doctors. If that rumor was true, I think it would have been perfect, because that would have added to it.
That would have given it a standalone thing, whereas it has just it's gonna sit. I'm sorry, Star Beast reintroduced David Tennant and Donna. This one closed off their story, and potentially we'll see how they deal with it, but potentially has closed off the past 15 years of Doctor Who. But Wild Blue Yonder was just a Doctor Who story, which is fine. It was a good Doctor Who story, but it was just a Doctor Who story. Okay, you're going to say now, but they said the bit with the salt, and that's how the Toymaker came in. I didn't need a whole hour of an episode just for him to do Salt. He could have pulled out Salt in the Starburst. He could have done 100 different things to get there. But anyway, let's stop hating on Wild Blue Yonder because we'll be cancelled again, Bradley. Did you watch the Next Time trailer?
I did. I actually have a couple of extra points to add, actually.
Oh, go on. It's not often you come this prepared.
No, I know. I'm very prepared. So just going back to the episode, actually, and something that I was a bit confused about. Whose house were they at the end?
That's Donna's house, no? The one that she bought.
I mean, it looks completely different to how it did before. The garden's completely different.
Did we ever see the garden in the start? Oh, yeah, you're right.
Yeah, because it goes to the shed.
Yeah. That's a good point.
It looks like a mansion. It looks massive.
Okay, that's quite interesting.
It's not just a normal house on a street.
Yeah,
good point. To be fair, their house did get blown up, so maybe they're just staying somewhere else.
Yeah, but they've got no money, remember?
Yeah. Maybe
unless
Unit
the doctor, Unit could have been, or unless the doctor was like, right, if I'm fucking staying on Earth, better believe I'm going to go back and win the fucking lottery.
I do think they should have mentioned it though.
No, that's a good point. To be fair, I didn't.
It was a bit weird
at all. Yeah, no, bit jarring. Yeah, okay, interesting. Good point. Go on.
And just another thing as well. We might get a bit of hate for this, but I think it needs to be mentioned because Russell mentions it and discusses it as well. I don't know if you know much about the Toymaker's history, but did you know that there's actually been, well, there was going to be complaints about that character being racist?
In what sense? Like back in the day, he was a racist character.
Because back in the day, it was a white man putting on accents wearing a Chinese outfit.
Okay.
And Russell, and I've only seen this because of Doctor Unleashed. Russell mentions this, and he specifically relates it in this episode as well. You know the bit where, right at the start, when he's talking to the guy who's coming to buy the thing, and he says about him being used to sunnier climates.
Ah, okay.
Did you clock that? That's a nod to the racism of the Toymaker, yeah. And Russell felt like he had to add that in because he felt that was part of what the Toymaker was back in the day. And the whole thing about this is why as well I don't think they called him the Celestial Toymaker, because apparently Celestial is something relating to in Chinese language as well.
Okay.
But yeah, I thought that was a bit weird that he felt the need to actually. I feel like if you hadn't have mentioned it or done anything with it, no one would have noticed. But he felt the need to do it.
Yeah, very interesting.
I'm not really sure how I feel about that, to be honest.
I mean, listen, we have to.
I don't think it was necessary.
It probably wasn't necessary, but at the same time, we have to acknowledge, where we've come before. Like, look at James Bond. You've had James Bond dress up as a Chinese man once before. That still happened. Do you know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
Speaking of the racism, though, well, that's come out extremely wrong. I'll probably fix that in the edit. Speaking of nationalities and things like that, I fucking loved it when the Doctor and when David and Ncuti get split in half, and Donna just pokes her head around David Tennant. It's like, you come in all colours.
Oh yeah.
That was an absolutely brilliant line. But yeah, interesting about the racism. I'm all you've got to acknowledge where you've come from, right? The last time we saw this character, he was a racist. You don't just drop that, I suppose, do you? I don't know. But then at the same time, he's above us. He probably doesn't even know what racism is. He's so far. It's like the whole the Doctor can't be sexist because he doesn't really understand genders. He's gender fluid. He's gender neutral. Like, he's even more removed from that. He is neither boy nor girl. And I think it's the same thing with the Toymaker. Like, racism is just, I don't know. Interesting that he brought it up. For sure. Yeah,
that's true.
Anything else on your notes, lad?
I think you mentioned pretty much everything else.
Should we rate it out of 10?
Yeah, let's do it.
After you, my friend.
I'm going to say 9 out of 10. Pretty solid.
One away from perfect.
Yeah, I think so.
Okay, fair enough. I'm going to go with 8. It was definitely fucking up there. Like I said, we spoke about it. Just a few little things that needed to be tweaked here and there would have made it absolutely perfect. But definitely an 8. Just on vibes alone, man. This whole episode was just a fucking vibe more than anything. This could have aired. This could have aired back in 2008 or 2009, whenever Tennant was doing his specials, and I would not even be able to tell the difference. Like, he was so on form, absolutely fucking quality. I'd give credit to the I'd actually give credit to the pace of the episode as well, because I was worried that it was going to be too rushed.
But I thought the pace was brilliant. It was fast paced, but at the same time, you got everything in the time it needed to. I thought
Agreed.
it was good.
Yeah, no, totally agreed. Yeah, I
Mm.
didn't. You're right. I don't feel like it actually needed to be a three-parter, which is what I thought it was going to be at the start. It just sort of worked.
Yeah.
Yeah, I kind of liked it, and I do
Mm.
love the fact that he was just beaten by a game of catch. Like the more I'm thinking about that, the more I was like, it's a fucking game of catch. I'm watching Doctor Who and they're just playing catch. The more I'm thinking about it, the more I'm like, no, this fucking works. This guy is this insane innate force that can't be stopped, but he just cares about the rule. Like, yeah, I'm coming round on it. Maybe even 8.5.
Yeah, I mean, think how quick the first game was with David Tennant. Like, it was just a game of, is it higher or lower or higher
Yeah,
game?
and it wasn't even
Like
like
they
higher and
cut a
lower.
deck
I
in.
expected them to keep on pulling cards and say higher or lower, higher or lower. Like they literally
Yeah,
just cut it and then cut it again. I was like, oh, that's even quicker than I was expecting it to be. I'd say,
and that was it. That was it. He'd lost. Like,
yeah, shit, no tricks, no
yeah,
nothing. All right, next time trailer, Christmas. What did you think?
yeah. I don't. This is the thing as well with Christmas specials. I take Christmas specials with a pinch of salt because I don't relate them to the actual series. They're
And
a
there's
bit of
only
fun.
ever
They're a
been one good
light-hearted.
one.
Yeah, yeah. There's not many good ones to be fair. But yeah, I'm buzzing to see Ncuti. The goblins look like quite funny. There's another musical thing in this. Apparently, I think the song's being released on Monday. To be fair, I feel like that's going to be an
Oh, is
absolute
it?
banger.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's quite interesting.
So that'll be good. The only thing I didn't get, which I thought was a bit weird, did you see the bit where the doctor's like in a kilt dancing, like presumably in a nightclub?
Yeah,
What is the
yeah.
doctor doing in a nightclub?
I don't know, man. I get it because it's the whole. Well, one, I think it's going to piss the internet off because again, we've got the doctor in a dress in a club dancing, very, very odd. But
That's
I
only a
think,
kilt, mate.
yeah, fair enough, and he is Scottish, fair enough.
He's
But the doctor's
Scottish,
not
so
Scottish.
yeah.
The doctor's not Scottish. Um,
No.
but he is this brand new, refreshed doctor. He's gonna have all of this energy. Go to
Mm.
that makes thematical sense, I think, for me. He's got all this built up energy. He's letting it out in a club. Something wrong is going to go down. Yeah, I think yeah, obviously, we're just speculating. I think it has the potential to work. I'm definitely more excited. I'm not even more excited. I'm very excited going into this Christmas special. Like you said,
Yeah, I'm
taking
buzzing
it,
for Shooty's new series.
yeah, taking
Yeah.
the Christmas one with a pinch of salt because there really has only been one good one. There's one Peter Capaldi one that's not too bad as well, but yeah, Christmas specials tend to be a little bit shit. So yeah,
Mm.
gas for the series. Do we know when it's airing?
Christmas Day.
No, the new series. Sorry,
Oh no, not the new series.
probably
I
mid-year
presume it
though.
would be some
Presumably,
point. It's usually around Easter time it starts, I think, isn't it?
I don't know.
It was
I
back
don't
in the
know.
day anyway.
Fair enough.
Yeah. I
But
have
yeah,
just
it's
actually
genuinely
remembered one of the Easter eggs that's going to be in the next series. I'm
go
going to
on.
call it now. Triad. Triad is going to come up in the next series.
Triad, what like the Chinese mafia?
What? No, it's some kind of technology in modern day London.
Okay, where was that mentioned?
Mel mentions it in Unit.
Oh, what when
When
Donna's
Donna's doing the
like, is
typing bit
it?
and says, "Oh, we're on Triad."
I just
Yeah.
presumed that was showing that Donna is cut out for the job and that she's now going to be on her 100. Oh, that was a funny little bit as well. Annoying, but Kate's like, oh, we'll give you 60K annual salary. Donna's like 120 and 5 weeks holiday. She's like, done. Who just doubles their salary like that? Come on. That's
It's a
insane,
bit of
isn't
a
it?
difference, isn't it?
That's insane. Sounds like
I
Connor
wish it
every
was that
time he
easy in
gets a
real
pay
life.
rise.
Oh God.
Oh, good. But it works. It's all
I
shit.
cut that
Maybe
out.
that's how they afforded the new house, you know?
Yeah, maybe. Maybe Donna's got it as part of her benefits package.
I did like that callback as well. You won't find a faster typist in the world. Like, oh,
Yeah, that was good.
it felt. I'm honestly, they fucking sticked the landing here. They really, really did. It could have gone either way after Wild Blue Yonder, but I think
Yeah,
yeah, good job all round. I'm very happy with it, to be fair. And
yeah, it was class.
Doctor Who's back,
Yeah.
baby.
Doctor Who is back. We're back.
We've now got what yeah, fucking hell, just under just over 2.5, yeah, just over 2 weeks Christmas special.
Yeah, buzzing.
God knows when we'll do our review for that. I'm not calling you on Christmas Day, mate. I don't love you that much. We'll probably do it Boxing Day or day after, presumably.
Yeah. Any time's fine, whenever. I'm
Nice
not
one.
fussy. It's you'll probably be able to watch it though, 'cause it's 5:55, I think, Christmas Day.
Oh, what a
So it's
perfect
what, 10
end to
o'clock?
my Christmas that will be. Yeah, exactly. Well, anyway, Bradley, thank you for joining us on these specials. Mate, what a fucking journey it's been. Some highs and lows, that's for sure.
It has. It's been a while. It's only been 3 weeks, but what a wild ride it's been so far. Been ups and
Yeah,
downs, but yeah, I've thoroughly enjoyed it. Been good.
that, yeah, no, mate, it's been a pleasure. Thanks for listening, everybody. If you are still here, drop us a follow, drop us a like, leave us what you thought in the comments, and catch you on the flip side, guys. Anything to add, Brad?
No, thank you very much for listening, and we'll see you for the Christmas special.
Adios, amigos.